had a few people ask me why I call myself Egg.
I'm Egg.
On the outside, I'm Egg, and on the inside, I'm Egg.
I'm Egg.
She's Egg.
It's very simple. Look at the shape of my head right now. I am Egg.
I'm Egg.
Hi everyone! Happy birthday to me! And welcome to the official launch of my YouTube channel. And guys, I got like 400 new subscribers just from my announcement video, so thank you so much. I'm totally geeking out. And also, if you're new here and you just randomly got fed this video, hi, I'm Sarah. I've worked in social media and TV for about 10 years now. You might recognize me from like a Facebook video or spelling bikini wax, or you just have no fucking clue who I am. Whatever the case is, thanks for joining, and I hope you stay. I like cats, rainbows, food, being a silly goose, getting yelled at about being a silly goose, and I've often gone viral for having the floppiest phone in the world. Not only is it my birthday, not only is it the first official day of my YouTube launch, it is an Ask Me Everything. So while I'm going to answer questions today, I'm going to be doing my makeup, but I'm going to be doing clown makeup because I have this vision of me dressed up as a cute clown. So we're gonna do that photo shoot right after this, and those pictures are gonna be up on my Instagram. I'm gonna make this video longer because I'm still not monetizing. I need 4,000 hours of publicly watched content. So I have 116 hours of watch time. I need 4,000. So treat this as a podcast. Put it on, get ready with me. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe right now and like this video. Also, thank you everyone so much for supporting my last video, my announcement video about coming back. I realized that the color correction wasn't great, the editing wasn't great, the cameras weren't great. And while I do claim to have a lot of experience in TV and social media production, I'm more on the producer end rather than the camera crew, the lighting crew, the editing crew. Like everyone I've ever worked with in any of those different departments is incredibly talented. So now I'm trying to learn those skills. Also, I've never been a YouTube uploader, so that's also been an experience. Bingo bango, let's start. Okay, the first section is personal. First question is from Claudio, where did you put the hand vacuum? Check all over the house. We have about 14 of them. I've bought a lot and I keep losing every single one. What is something that you have done recently that you're really proud of? I am really proud that I'm committed to this YouTube channel. I know that doesn't sound like that exciting of an answer, but I've always had a hard time committing to things, which is very funny because I'm married. But really, I got married on the timeline we got married because the government was about to kick my husband out of the country. Not really, but kinda. So I have trouble committing to things, especially creative things, because I am a perfectionist and I always think I have to do it perfect or not at all. This YouTube channel is really something that I'm using to kind of like hop over that fear, to put out stuff that maybe not be perfect, but to put it out so that I can constantly be improving on what I'm creating. How did the start of your relationship with Claudio go? Asking for an anxious dater. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I joined a happy hour meetup group. So I was looking for friends on the west side in Santa Monica. One of those guys was an Italian guy, and he had a birthday party in Santa Monica at this sports bar, which was my playing ground. So I would just go there, get cheap drinks, and kiss cute boys. And that's exactly what I did to Claudio. And I said, hi, I'm Sarah. And then he said, hello, I am Claudio. And in less than 2 minutes, we were kissing each other. So I don't know if that helps your anxious dating story, but I just went for it. Right, Claudio?
There was a lot of wine involved.
No, I only had like one glass at that point. If you could have dinner with any fictional character, who would it be? The villain in Mission Impossible 5. I just have a couple of things to say to him. Like how he recharges his arms like guns. How you do that, dude? This one's not a question. It's just a picture.
I win!
And I love it. If you could be any kind of tree, would you? No. I don't think they're treating trees very well these days. How are you doing? I'm doing great. It's my birthday. Every birthday is a blessing. What do you miss most about LA and California? The thing I miss most about LA and California is my friends. I really, really miss them. It's hard to make friends as an adult. I have a lot of friends at work, but we don't really go out together but I'm forcing them to invite me out to stuff. I'm also really afraid of Bumble BFF. It sounds really interesting to me, but unlike dating where you can kind of say, hey, there's no chemistry, or hey, there's no attraction or anything like that, I'm afraid that Bumble BFF leaves me to a place where I have to kind of be like, I don't like your personality. And that seems harsh, so I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of conversation. What do I miss the least about LA and California? How expensive everything is, the traffic. How is life in Colorado going? How do you feel about living in the snow again? I'm kind of enjoying the fact that Colorado has different seasons because it makes me feel like time is changing, and also that I need to take advantage of nice weather days. And then I also like on the bad weather days, oops, I'm stuck at home. Guess it's a time to play with the cats. In case you haven't noticed, I stopped doing my makeup because I totally forgot my concealer upstairs. What have you been up to since you left Smosh and moved? Well, those two things I definitely did. I left Smosh and then I moved to Colorado. Since then, I've been working really hard, decorating our place, which is something I'm not very good at. So that's been a new skill. I thought that going into the corporate world would be kind of boring, but I'm really happy that I found a place that isn't boring. I kind of wish it was more boring, though. 2023 is a whole new year. Let's see, yeah? Murder, marry, mate. Any 3 Smoshies. I would say Tommy Bones for every single one. I would marry, I would mate, and I would also murder. He is far too talented and funny and handsome. The thing I love about Tommy is that Tommy and I really, really have a great creative relationship. I actually do miss collaborating with him on things because he would take my idea, yes and it to a whole nother level. Then he'd show me his idea and I would maybe yes and it in some aspects or be like, this is the most perfect thing I've ever seen. What are the best pizza toppings? Is pineapple on pizza acceptable? Yes. Jalapenos? Yes. Anchovies? If that's what you like, yes. I'm not holy when it comes to pizza. And guess what? Claudio isn't either. Claudio likes trash pizza as much as he likes good pizza. But with the trash pizza, it's still got to be kind of good pizza. If you know what I'm saying.
I just realized when you're doing something,
I'm more funny.
you're always super funny.
Claudio's just coming in and telling me I'm not being very funny right now.
That's why I didn't want to tell you this. This is what you were going to say.
How are the kitties? The kitties are great. I love them so much. This is my puppy. We're going to be trimming their nails. They're amazing little angels that shit and barf all over my house. And I love them so much. It's very cute because sometimes they come up with like different habits that they switch out every so often. And their new habit is snuggling me in the morning. So someone asked, why Puppy is called Puppy. Is it inspired by Puppy Cat? I didn't actually realize that a lot of people name their cats Puppy. The reason I named my cat Puppy, we were looking for a new brother for Tartufo. Tartufo's first brother, his real brother from his litter, passed away from FIP, which is a very fatal kitten disease that usually affects cats under a year old or over 10 years old. So we were looking for a new brother for Tartufi. And there happened to be a kitten fair in Burbank, right around the place where I was looking for a wedding dress, and we happened to drive by the animal shelter. His initial name was Branwell, which I think is a literary name or something with the Bronte sisters or something, Branwell, but didn't roll off the tongue very well. At the time, Claudio and I were together. We would call all little animals we would see puppies. So if we saw a seagull on the beach, those were puppies. If we saw an otter at the zoo, that was a puppy. So when we saw him, he's a puppy. He is my one soulmate. He has the exact same soul as me, exact same personality. I love him so much. And he loves me too. The camera cut out a little bit while TJ was getting his pedicure. But he did so good. So we're going to let him go. So he can go back and nap. Good job, Timmy. Orange Cat is sleeping. So we're just going to continue on with the clown makeup. Do you foresee any more Red Jacket rants in the future? Huge fan. Hi from Barcelona. I love the Red Jacket rants. To be honest, I do still own the jacket and I wear the jacket out pretty often. I haven't done a lot of Red Jacket rants because they often turn into very long rants and then they take up a lot of chunk of my time, but I'm kind of hoping that can change. So maybe I'll make a Red Jacket rant series on my YouTube channel. Let me know if you guys want that. Would you ever get more cats? No, absolutely not. 3 is enough. They shit a lot, they eat a lot, they barf a lot, and I don't want one more of those around the house. How do you feel about sleeping with socks on? Me personally, I mix it up. Sometimes I sleep with socks on, sometimes I sleep with socks off. I read many years ago that if you wear socks to bed, it helps you dream more, like have more vivid dreams. So on nights where I feel like I want to have a more vivid dream, I'll put on a pair of socks. I feel like it works, but for the most part, I think your little feet digits should be free when you're sleeping. Let them free, let them breathe. They're stuck in shoes all day. Treat your feet good. You never know when they could earn you money. How to head out of the friend zone? Interesting question. I'm gonna use context clues and think that you're asking about how to get out of the friend zone. Here is my spoiler alert. You can't get out of it. Attraction is something and chemistry is something that you can't really pinpoint or control, especially when it's in someone else's hands. So if you're in the friend zone, you are that. You are their friend and not necessarily a romantic partner. If you are wondering how to be more romantic or get more romantic prospects, I would really suggest first learning how to love yourself. Learning how to love and hang out with yourself is really important. Really become a robust self person. Shower. Practice good hygiene. I think that's a good thing. How much Italian have you learned since marrying Claudio? Not much. Oh, something I did want to do for the clown makeup is have a little pink nose. Is that cute? I think it's time to move on to the next section of questions. Next hair color? I really don't know what my next hair color is going to be. I've really enjoyed the blonde. However, I may be coloring my hair very soon. So I was thinking of pink or holographic. You know how it's like a pastel rainbow? Always put primer down if you are doing bright eyeshadow. If you do not have primer, just use your concealer. Because what happens is that powder just sticks on the goopy stuff. I kind of look like that girl from the Big Couch, Big Blue Couch, Big Blue Bear, Big Couch, Lady Big Couch. This is the Violet palette from ColourPop. What is your favorite DIY outfit you've ever made? My favorite dress, the one you've made out of curtains. So that actually was my birthday dress from a couple years ago that I really wanted to make basically a $300 dress out of a $24 pair of curtains I got off of Amazon. And I did it and the dress looked so good. My birthday is in 2 weeks. I figured I wanted to challenge myself. One, with this video, because I haven't uploaded in forever. And two, I wanted to make a nice dress for myself for my birthday and have a little photo shoot. Editing Sarah here. I found all this footage from when I made that dress 2 years ago. So I can make a whole YouTube video. I'm gonna do that. This is really hard to multitask. And we're back. Clownery in full mode. Come here, puppy. The camera ran out of batteries because I was talking too long, so I figured it'd be best for me to do my makeup off camera. This is the part where we are going to get deep. Y'all really went hard. How to manage chores, work, friends, mental health, etc., and not go crazy. I feel like I can't adult. I'm gonna be honest, I am still figuring it out. That was a big goal of me leaving Los Angeles, was to figure out how to manage work, friends, mental health, hobbies, all that and everything. A year later, I don't know if I have it down, but something that has been really helpful for me is going to therapy. And I also know not everyone has access to therapy. However, if you do on your insurance plan or anything like that, please look into it. When I went into therapy, something that was really eye-opening to me, which I hadn't really thought about, was moving my body being a part of a way to help my mental health. So I really needed someone to say, hey, you need to make it a priority to go on mental health walks, to go work out, to go do something with your body, because that gives your brain the juice to be a little happier. I needed that, and that helped me monumentally. Tips on taking the first steps to body acceptance? That one is a real hard one, and it's one that I battle with every day. Growing up with epilepsy, growing up during the 90s and thousands when there was definitely one certain type of body to have that I did not have, and also low-rise jeans not helping that. I have always been at battle with my body and been very frustrated with my body. What finally turned around for me was a couple years ago when I had to say, I am very lucky to have this body I'm in. Some days it's a bitch, some days it's nice to me, But overall, I should be very grateful for this body that I have and everything I've been through with it. And I need to be able to be kinder to myself. So I think I obviously I'm not a therapist or licensed or gone to school to give advice. But my biggest piece of advice for body acceptance is to be as kind to yourself as you are with your friends and your loved ones. So if you wouldn't say that shit about a friend or a loved one, why the fuck are you saying it about yourself? And if you're honestly able to hold yourself accountable to that, I think you will notice big differences. What's the piece of advice, thought, idea that set you on the path where you are today? I think I've said this in a previous Smoshcast before, but the thing that really helped me when I was early in my career was in order to reach your full potential, you have to get out of your comfort zone. So you have to be uncomfortable. That is the moment where you really assess what's going on and what your next step should be. Many people have asked me my goal for 2023, and in my announcement video, I kind of touched on that. But for me, it's really to pursue this YouTube channel as a genuine creative endeavor for me so that I'm able to share my expertise, able to react to really fun stuff, and be able to kind of like fill that creative bucket I've always had with video content. That's my goal, but I'm really focused on like creating this content, being consistent with it, and being able to listen to what you guys really want. I want to go into the nerdy stuff that I've always wanted to talk about. Meow? Meow. Puppy? Are you done? I'm talking. Any tips on how to have a happy life? Dress up like a clown on the internet. Kinda, no. How to have a happy life? I would say hobbies. During the pandemic, I never realized how important having a hobby was because I kind of always had hobbies in my life, but I kind of let them go in the last few years of when my career was kind of growing and getting more demanding, but also more creatively demanding. So I love to sew, I love to craft, I love to draw, I love to do makeup. And those are little things that really are a avenue for you to be able to hang out with yourself and be able to connect with yourself and all the things that make you tick. Do you have any advice on how to calm down when feeling panicky or anxious? I've always been an anxious type of person. I have a lot of stomach problems and I have a lot of general anxiety about bathrooms. I think I just have almost shit myself too many times in uncomfortable situations. However, after the pandemic, I really needed to work on it, and that's why I went back to therapy last year. Last time I was in therapy, I was in middle school. So I've always experienced some level of anxiousness, depression, anxiety, and it's really hard. I'm still working through it, but something that my therapist has taught me is box breathing or box thinking. There's two things that she taught me. One was like the breathing exercise where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and you continue to do that. And that kind of slows down the anxiety and your breathing. The second thing that she taught me that was really helpful, do not cancel me if I get this wrong. This is just how this works for me. I could be remembering wrong. She says when you're going through moments of anxiety, step 1 is label the feeling. What is the feeling? What am I feeling right now? Step 2, go through the feeling. So whether you're sad or anxious, like let it go through in a controlled environment. Then 3, pretend you are someone across the street that is going through that emotion. Because you've already gone through it, you can like kind of see it from an outside perspective. And then 4, say that emotion does not serve me anymore. So anytime I'm in a moment of anxiousness or anxiety, I try to use those 4 steps to move through that, and it helps. And then I get a good snack or something, you know? What's one thing you'll never regret? Easy peasy, going with my gut. And I've said this on the Smoshcast before. When you go with your gut, you either learn something that you want to do or you learn something that you don't want to do. Either way, it's a very valuable life experience. What is your favorite way to relax after a hard day of work? First, I love to get into comfy outfits, sweatpants, big t-shirt, no bra. Then I take off my makeup. Then I have Puppy make out with me for a little bit. And then I sit on the couch with Claudio and we... legal in Colorado. And then we hang out and we giggle and we have fun. With being so closely related to social media, has it ever made you burn out or affected negatively? If so, how do you grow through it? Ooh, if you are an overthinker, if you don't love social media so much, if you are always going into many multiverses of what could happen in your brain, social media may not be the best for you. And that is something I did not know before I started getting into it 10 years ago. Detach? I don't know if detach is the right word, but being able to exercise what you can actually control and what you can't control. And ultimately, that's the line you have to draw for yourself. What is your spiciest hot take? Ugh. I told you guys I don't have good hot takes, but I wrote some down so that I wouldn't disappoint in this answer. First of all, fuck places with one bathroom stall. Second, don't comment on a post if you can't handle being called out. And while we're on the subject, people who don't Google shit before asking a question in the comments, or don't even read the caption before they're questioning it in the comments. Why are we just like shitting comments out without even thinking for a second? Next, and lastly, this one might be the spiciest. Gen Zers are sprinting because millennials crawled when it comes to the internet. Millennials, we are the only generation that has memories that predate the internet and are the beginning of the internet and now is the internet. We are the only generation that has been experimented with both non-internet life and internet life. And we invented things. We invented all hashtags, all the things that you guys call chuggy. That shit was cool back then. You just weren't fucking born. But Gen Zers, you guys are doing it better, okay? You cyberbully better than anyone. Any generation that will ever happen. And that's because us millennials, we were the test children. So what I'm saying is Gen Zers, I appreciate you. Y'all are creative. You're hilarious. Humor in 10 years is gonna be insane. We are not perfect. We never claimed to be perfect. We were just the first ones. Show your elders some respect. I think we did okay. We came up with memes. We invented MySpace and then we shut it down. Those are my spicy takes. Gen Zers, I genuinely love y'all. Sometimes I play one of y'all because people think I'm a baby, but I'm 34. How do you find a balance in doing enough and not overextending yourself in work life? What a great question to ask me, the biggest overworker of all time. When I left Smosh, that was really a big goal of mine, was stop being such a work person. And I would put everything into my work, all my creativity, all my effort, everything for my team. I would ride or die for my team. And it took me 3 sessions of therapy for my therapist to say, you are in control of all of this. And it finally hit me. I didn't need to be there every single second. I didn't need to be on call. But who was going to be there to be able to stand up for myself to say, hey, don't answer an email at 8 p.m. Hey, take a half hour or an hour for lunch and don't check any messages or emails. Me. So I would say if you are overextending yourself in your work life, look at things that you can earnestly control and set boundaries for yourself. Every job is different, obviously, but for me, if an email or a message doesn't get answered right away, it's gonna be fine. What made you decide to leave Smosh? Sounds like a loaded question, but I am curious of the other jobs you've had after Smosh. So there is an entire 1-hour podcast about why I left Smosh. And we filmed that right after I left. So when I had actually put in my 2 weeks at Smosh, I had left, and then about a month and a half later, I came back to shoot my goodbye. So by the time we had shot my goodbye, the whole crew and cast kind of had a little taste of life without Sarah. But honestly, it felt really nice to be back. It always feels like coming home. I decided ultimately to leave Smosh because California was not for me and it was not in my future. So I wanted to figure out another place where I could build my family, build my life, build all these different things that I had kind of been ignoring while living in Los Angeles. And since I've left Smosh, I've been at one job while also having the side hustle of doing online content and influencing. I don't like that. Something that has been really relieving since I've left Smosh. Smosh. Did I say that weird? Smosh. Smosh. I've really enjoyed the separation of work and my personal life. Something about working for a YouTube channel like Smosh is that the lines get blurred of what is life and what is work. And now that I've been able to separate those two things, basically clock out at 6 p.m. or whatever, my mental health has felt a lot less pressure. I'm in a unique spot where I do have an online presence, but I also have this like corporate day life. And it does feel like I have like two different lives going on, but I kind of enjoy that, and I enjoy that I can keep them separate. So I appreciate everyone always asking me about my new gig. I am happy. I am having a lot of fun. I also get recognized every so often in public, and sometimes I'm around my new coworkers and their heads spin all the way around and they ask, what the hell is happening? I think that's my favorite part, when people find out this part of my life. Also, if you made it to this point, thank you so much. I'll give you a discount code to watch the next video. Just kidding, it's free. A lot of these questions will be career related or social media related, so let's go. Any advice for someone in their late 20s still trying to establish themselves in their career? So your late 20s and your early 20s, I would say, is a time to be hopping around like crazy. I don't think, at least in the industry I'm looking for when I'm looking at resumes, I want a good mix of people who have kept a job longer for 6 months, but also not afraid to hop. Ultimately, you'll get the most bang for your buck, as in getting raises per each job. Always negotiate. And you'll get the most bang for your experience. Getting different experiences at different places, whether they're good or bad, will teach you so many things in your career. If you look at my resume, I started, interning in digital, then I moved to public service television that was played in taxis in New York City. Then I moved to television in Phoenix. Then I moved to digital, and I moved back to television and digital and kind of did that hip-hoppy thing. And that helped me learn so much that got me to the place that I am now. So I would say, if you are feeling like, oh, this job feels really random, feels like a left turn on my resume, go for it if you think in your gut it's the right place for you to go. Because it'll help you in your future job. How to get noticed on a job resume, been struggling for months. And the job market's really hard right now. Here are my fast facts for resumes. I am not a hiring person. I'm not an HR person, but I've looked at thousands of resumes and hired dozens of people. A dozen people. 1, keep your resume to 1 page. 1 page is all we have time to look at, and you better be making sure that that resume reflects what the job posting is. So literally take some of the language that's in the job posting and put it in your resume, because the hiring manager, me, is looking for someone who speaks the same language as me if I am hiring someone on my team. Put numbers for anything that can be quantified. For example, something on your resume, you could say, I bust a lot of tables. That doesn't put, for me, anything on a scale, because a lot could be 10 to one person and 5 to others. So if you are putting something on your resume like, I bust a lot of tables, say, I bust on average 50 tables during a 5-hour shift 4 times a week. That way I am able, as a hiring manager, to understand quantitatively what your work is. Example, if it's in social media and you raised engagement rates over a couple of months, say, over 3 months, my strategy increased engagement rates by blank percent. Feels really sexy, looks really good, helps the hiring manager understand what's going on. How did you get into social media / influencing? I went to college for video production, because social media degrees did not exist then. It was just starting. I kind of wanted to be like a hybrid Tina Fey, behind the scenes and in front of the camera type of talent. I would say my biggest break was getting an associate producer job for a TV show that hadn't existed yet in Phoenix, Arizona. I really liked it, but in that job, I very much was specialized in viral digital social content. It was like TV boot camp. I, every morning, had to come in with 2 ideas for 2 segments and be able to write, shoot, edit, and produce that all within about 8 to 9 hours that day that would be on TV later that night. When I moved away from Phoenix and went to LA, I really wanted to get into digital, and so that's when I got hired at the Game Show Network. 4 months later, I got laid off along with the rest of my team. Then I started working for Smosh. Last question, how to start an OnlyFans? Lol, but actually for real. Make sure there's good lighting in the photos. To be honest, I've never been on OnlyFans, but I would bet it's the same as rebuilding a YouTube channel, just with less clothing and more money. All right, guys, thank you guys so much. Please check me out on my Instagram and my clown photos. Please subscribe. Thank you guys again. Happy birthday to me. This is what 34 looks. And Gen Zers really listen to what I said earlier. Like, really just, like, take a moment before you comment in anger. Just take a moment.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, baby.